Alright, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Today is October 9th, 2019. I wanted to talk about Andrew Yang and the following presidential debates. Andrew Yang is qualified for the October 5th, 2019 debate, which is going to be in Ohio. And he's also qualified for the November 20th presidential Democratic debate, which is going to be in Atlanta. So he already meets, there are two requirements that you need to meet in order to be on the debate stage. One, you got to be polling at 3% nationally, and he has several polls which indicate that he is polling at or above 3%. And you also need to have 150,000 unique or 130,000 unique donors, and he definitely has that. He actually has exceeded that, so he is definitely met the criteria to qualify for the next two debates. And since the next debate is 6 days away, I wanted to talk a little bit about the debate. The last several debates that he's been in, I think he's done a really good job for the amount of airtime that he has. Now, he hasn't gotten the airtime that a lot of the other candidates on the stage have gotten. I think that mostly boils down to simply popularity. I think the fact that he is a newcomer, he is a new candidate, and he really hasn't gotten the airtime that a lot of the other candidates like Bernie Sanders, like Elizabeth Warren, like Joe Biden have gotten. But I think he has done the most with the time that he has gotten in the last debates, which roughly, if you look on average, has been about 8 minutes of airtime. So if everything goes well, I would hope to see him in this next debate get between maybe 10 and 11 minutes of airtime. I hope he gets bumped up a little bit. I hope he gets a little bit more time to speak, just because I do feel like he did such a great job in the last debate. He was one of the most polarizing candidates in the last debate. If you look, to me, what it looks like is Bernie Sanders has actually been trending down a little bit. Joe Biden has been trending down a little bit. Elizabeth Warren has been trending up. She's gotten the most, I would say, boost in her popularity. And then Kamala Harris has been trending up. And then Andrew Yang has also been trending up. His popularity is growing. His number of donations has been growing. A lot more people are Googling Andrew Yang. A lot more people are finding out about his policies, and a lot more people are interested in hearing what he has to say on the debate stage. So I really hope he gets the opportunity to speak more. Number two is, I hope that Andrew Yang will stick to pretty much, I hope the questions will be geared more towards things that I think Andrew Yang will absolutely excel at. I think, number one, Andrew Yang is great at answering questions. In fact, he proves that he's not a politician because he doesn't really dodge many questions. If you notice, a lot of politicians, their standard thing is to dodge questions. It is sometimes to answer a question with a question, and it's not always to give you clear-cut answers. And I understand for some problems it can be very hard to give clear-cut answers because there's not always a simple black and white solution. But Andrew Yang usually does a good job with answering every single question from what I noticed, and that's one thing I really like and respect about him. When it comes to his big advantage, I think he will be able to get the highlights and steal the show, kind of like he did in the last presidential debate when everybody was buzzing about the fact that he was taking the money from his campaign and rewarding individual random donors with $1,000 a month. So a lot of people had a problem with that, but in reality, he explained his position. He explained his position well and why he's doing it, and I feel like that was a positive thing because it got so much attention, and he was able to clarify why he was doing it, and he was able to share with people, yo, this is possible, we can make this happen. So I think that was a positive thing, and I hope we get plenty more moments like that in the next debate, so that way when it comes down to the November debate, he could be polling at much higher percentage, maybe 5-6%. Who knows? So I think for him to capture those big moments, he's really going to shine when it comes to questions on the economy, when it comes to questions about business, because remember, he is an independent entrepreneur. He is not a lifelong politician, but he did used to work for the Obama administration. So I feel like that is also something that gives him an advantage, because whenever they can't say he has zero political knowledge. He worked for the Obama administration and helped create a lot of jobs. So he's going to be able to say, I've helped create countless of jobs. The economy that you've seen, like, I played my part in it. And not only that, I've been a player in this economy. I know what it's like to run a successful business. I know where the shortcomings are of the economy, how we can improve it, how we can make things better for small businesses. And I would like to hear him talk a little bit more about that as well, as far as why, because he's talked about this before, but I think this is going to be a point that really plays and hits hard. Talk about why the federal job guarantee is not necessarily a good thing, because not everybody wants a government job, and even if a government can provide a job, it's not going to be necessarily a good job, and like, there's no productivity added to the economy by digging holes and filling them back in. Like, that's a job that a government could create, but it's not doing anything. It's not providing any real value. And I think that's going to hit really hard when he talks about his freedom dividend, and giving people $1,000 a month is going to stimulate the economy and give real productivity and value in ways that government provided jobs will not do. Raising the minimum wage will not do. It could actually be harmful to small business owners. So I really hope that the questions are really, I hope we get good moderators, because the moderators I don't think have been determined yet, but I hope the moderators are really strong, solid, and they ask good questions. When it comes to foreign policy, you know, I'm sure there will be questions like that. I'm curious, like, I'll be tuning in to see what he has to say. But the main thing for me is, and I think what's going to hit the hardest, is if he sticks to the script, talks about, you know, what he's doing, what he knows, and just keeps going forward with, you know, how we can make the average American worker's life better, and how we really ultimately need to change the way we're looking at GDP. Because those two things, I think, are going to resonate really hard, and I want to see those get the highlights on the next day after, because unfortunately a lot of people, they don't really watch the debates. I never watched the debates. Like, this is for me the most I've ever paid attention to politics. If I was gonna watch anything, it'd be the highlights, and then from the highlights I'm gonna go in and say, oh, you know what, that resonates with me, let me go ahead and learn more about this candidate, which is kind of what I'm doing. You know what I'm saying? I heard about this person, let me go learn more about them. And then people will dive in, they'll see his content on YouTube, they'll see this content on Twitter, they'll see all his content, maybe read his books, which, by the way, I'm actually gonna buy his book. I looked it up on Amazon. It's selling for a hardcover copy, $21 on Amazon. So I'm gonna actually buy his book, The War on Normal People. If you want the ebook, it was like $13 on Amazon. You can pick that up. Just because I want to get a better understanding of his plan, his research that he's put into. And I like to read about certain stuff like that. That kind of stuff is interesting to me. I'm into future technologies. I'm into blockchain. I'm into cryptocurrencies, AI. Like, these type of things are very interesting to me. So I'll definitely be picking up his book and reading it. But yeah, that's about it for today's video, guys. Let me know in the comment section below what you think what should be the game plan going in for the next debate, since it is in 6 days, and what do you think is a realistic number that he can get to by November 20th as far as national polling? Because I'm curious. This is like, I don't really know too much about politics. I'm kind of learning as I go. But I'm curious to see, like, what you guys think would be a realistic number for that. So that's it. I'll see you guys in the next video. Have a good one.